That's a portal. That's a vortex.
Absolutely.
Actual photograph of Shauna being groped. Portals can be found along ley lines.
Okay, this is kind of creepy.
Welcome to Friday Night Ghost Frights. I'm author and ghost historian Mike Ricksecker. Explore with us. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at our paranormal investigations at locations that have had portals. Now, portals are doorways in the physical world that give free access to the spirit world using a vortex of energy to do this. One such vortex is in the basement of the old Mineral Springs Hotel in Alton, Illinois. This type of vortex is known as an upflow vortex, which generally has a more positive type of energy to it, and is probably why Shauna feels a more positive vibe down in the bowels of the old Mineral Springs Hotel.
Go ahead and take a look at this. Shauna, take a look on this screen. Look at what I'm looking at. Now you see a lot of that dust. You see like upflow.
Oh yeah, that's a portal. That's a vortex.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've shot that before.
Yeah,
Wow.
and this thing came, it just rushed up on me from behind when I was taking a picture. See, we're just about in it right here. We're right in the center of it. Strange.
Oh yeah.
That is crazy stuff.
You
So-
have upflow, yeah.
Wow, neat. Should have saw
But see, we're on the bedrock. We're on. Under this is limestone, and so you got right on the river, around that limestone, and it just pops here.
It is. It is crawling. When I was standing here, when you guys were in the back, something just rushed up on me in the right, like made my skin crawl.
Now, many times portals can be found along ley lines, especially at the crossing of two different ley lines. The ley lines are a series of lines across the earth in which you can normally find ancient sites, religious buildings, areas that have a lot of spirit activity associated to them, and you can usually see them line the landscape. Now, one such ley line crossing is the old cafe in Campsville, Illinois, in which Shauna has experienced a lot of activity, from bookcases being thrown around. She's seen the spirit of a little boy who fell out of a tree on the property years ago. It's also the episode in which they filmed the My Ghost Story episode Gropes of Wrath, in which there's an actual photograph of Shauna being groped by an entity that lurks there. There's also been shadow activity there and much more, but that's not it when it comes to Campsville, Illinois. You would never think of it of this sleepy little town there along the Illinois River, but given the ley line crossing, given the fact that it is right along the Illinois River, and that there are limestone bluffs right there, it really amps up that portal activity. And we've seen paranormal activity all up and down that particular area. Of course, we've had many adventures within the Goldenrod showboat, which could be attributed to that type of portal activity in the area.
Oh wow, mine's not set it off.
Well, that's because it's not a phone. You just use it as a camera.
I'm playing some music. Annie like to dance. We're going to try to see if Annie is still up here. In this upcoming clip, some sort of anomaly passes through the viewing area in the direction of Shauna. Is it dust? No other dust was being captured by the camera at that time, and it was moving very quickly. While it's not very bright, making it hard to call it a light anomaly, Shauna is upset just seconds later. We'll let you be the judge as to whether this is dust or the something that was following Shauna. Shauna, what's the matter? Hey, what's the matter?
I don't know.
Why is this it?
I don't know. I mean, Annie's done that up here to me before, but
Wait, you don't think it's Annie?
I don't feel like it's her. I saw like a full shadow, like at least my size.
Into there.
Not on the wall. that was
Into the
standing
doorway.
there. And went in the doorway, and then as soon as I called for Jake, and then I told him what I saw, and then right after he answered me, then two of the little twinkles went in there. Just
Okay.
I mean, I didn't see them like.
Well, and this is where we were seeing stuff earlier tonight, and I felt, oh, my nose is running, and where I felt the cobwebby right in here. Come on up and introduce yourselves. Come on up and introduce yourselves.
Now, one of our final investigations at the Goldenrod Showboat, we did have what we believe to be fairy activity there along the water. Really hard to confirm it depending on what your definition of a fairy is, but given the activity that it showed, going from a translucent ball of light down to a bar of light that ended up wavering and then coming back up into a ball of light. Three of us observing this, unfortunately not on video. We only had audio because we had exhausted our video and all the investigating that we had done prior to that. Really made for a compelling case that this may actually be a fairy.
Oh,
Did you see it?
yeah. Who's over there?
You guys are picking up the pace. What is going on? Where are you?
I mean, that was a pretty good size.
That one was in the air.
Pretty good size orb. Like it was round.
Now, along the river there, that may not be the only location in which these type of entities have made an appearance. There was a time when Shauna and I were exploring the old locks down at the south end of town. From the late 1800s until the 1930s, there was a lock system in place to aid the boats up and down the Illinois River. They've now since been abandoned, and just the ruins of them are deep in the woods. We explored this area, and Shauna made a capture of something that's making an arc toward me. Was it a fairy? We don't know.
Oh, steps. Very cool. And the steps are actually part of the lock system. It's part of the lock system. Yeah. And this is where the gate would be. That swing shut.
But the location there in town in which Society of the Haunted and Haunted Road Media has captured the most paranormal activity, at least for us, was the old grade school there in town.
Upstairs.
I know.
Upstairs.
That's what I mean.
Okay. I appreciate you making the sound again, but I was in a different place this time. Can you stay in one spot and do that so we can find you? I'd like to talk to you.
Oh my God.
You alright? What did you feel?
Well, I felt like I was going to throw up back there, and then I got a headache, and then I started coming towards this way, and the headache went away.
Sounded like a step. I don't know tell where it's from.
Where are you moving over there?
Over there.
If I told you that I could already see you, would that make you want to hide as much?
Can you play that whistle for us again? Maybe specifically with the stairs. We keep coming all the way down here into the boiler room. So, leaving the camera set up here, pointed down the stairs.
Of course, I know Shauna would still say the old cafe based on all of her experiences years ago, but there's no longer any access to that particular building, and most of our footage has been from the grade school. Now, sometimes people can design a particular area in order to encourage portal activity, and we believe that is the case at a particular cemetery in Ashmore, Illinois, known as the Ashmore Cemetery. Now, at this particular cemetery, there is a block of trees purposely designed around several headstones that invite you in, and there is just a really creepy vibe that surrounds this block of trees. It's made out like a square around these particular headstones.
Okay, this is kind of creepy. whatever they did here, and I don't think there's any way to be able to depict it nice or properly on camera. But this is like an enclosure. I saw somebody moving by the on the right hand side of the tree over there. I thought it was Shauna, so I had refrained from taking a picture until she had moved beyond. But then I noticed, no, Shauna was way off over here.
This, and then I just went
You went over there.
straight up here.
Alright, but I saw somebody walking between here.
But this area has definitely got something going on. And we'll venture, and even just walking out of that,
Yeah.
you can feel like a, whoo.
It feels
It's like,
just like this. It's like you popped a balloon.
yeah.
I mean, you feel like, you know, like your body is just like full, and then you step out of it, and it's like,
You know, it could be that that shadow person was actually associated with this family.
I
And
didn't-
even the, yeah, you never know, because it's really close by.
I didn't feel this last time.
So, John or Mary, maybe even Herbie? Or one of you trying to reach out to Shauna? That's a more modern example of people utilizing nature and the space in order to create a type of portal activity, that time in a cemetery. But the ancients used to do this all the time, setting up areas for portal activity, also accessing astronomy and star charts. While we generally think of these types of things happening out in the Middle East, Egypt, parts of Europe, there are locations like this around the United States as well. And one of those particular locations happens to be the Great Circle Earthworks in Newark, Ohio. Okay, so I'm standing at the entranceway to the Great Circle Earthworks, which is very, very cool. The culture here flourished about 100 to 500 AD, and I'm gonna try to back up. It's really hard. I don't know, the camera just doesn't pick it up very well. Probably goes 20, 25 feet. Maybe it's big. It is actually really, really big. There's some smaller mounds out that way on the other side of the visitor center, but that's actually pretty significant. And you got the same thing back there behind me. Okay, I'm on top of one of the small mounds in the middle here, and I'll just do a panoramic, make you get dizzy. It always does whenever I watch these. But you can kind of see one of the other smaller mounds behind me. Check out one of the ancient wonders of America. These are just a few examples of portal locations and activity. Stay tuned to Haunted Road Media for more. Thank you for watching Friday Night Ghost Frights. Please let us know what you thought of this video in the comments below. And if you have not yet, please subscribe and click that bell icon to get notifications of all of our new videos. I'm Mike Ricksecker. Until next Friday night.